Yep, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. If we're not, okay, let's just keep going. Thank you very much. I do not know why controllers do not working, but we're starting off with a very nice saucy scene, and our power's gone out, so now we need to go refuel our power. It's going to explain um, how the general power system of this game works, along with the general tutorial, where it shows you how to walk, how to swap characters, and also the main thing of this game, actually how to glide around. Because this is a game where we're mostly just doing this sort of gliding mechanic. It should be a good time. I am trying to do specific actions in specific orders, so I can go through this tutorial as quickly as possible. There's also these flow threads, which are like a rail mechanic, you can sort of think.
Although it seems like one thread won't be enough.
Yeah, so we'll need to go through and get a majority of those. Sorry, once again, for the controllers not working. I do not know, but that's fine. It's working now, and let's make sure it continues working until the end of the run. So a little bit thrown off just due to the shaky start, but yeah, we'll be able to get back on track for all of this. It's showing off the different mechanics of how to drift, how to get through the different. So as long as I have power, you see there's a little orb at the top left. I'm gaining power via these flow threads completing. As long as I have some of it, I will be moving at my maximum speed. If I ever run out, which I shouldn't after like the beginning of the game, I'll move slowly. So I usually try to prevent that. And as you can see, we're playing with female-female. This changes all of the animations, cutscenes, all of that sort of thing. So both characters are now female, and that's great. It's really cool because this game focuses a lot on story and the relationship between the two characters, so you can really see yourself in the situations. There is a rush mode where we're skipping through a lot of the dialogue, but I am also mashing text to make sure it goes even faster than that. It's also inputting certain things. You'll see like several times so far there's been like a reddish border behind a character. That's because we've said something and it's made them feel like more confident. They're happier with what we said. Right now, occasionally I'll be trying to shift like a pre-buffer an option to make sure I don't get that. It's hard to do every now and again. It not exactly saves much time either. So it's not too important to try to get, but where I can, I will try to do so. So these two people have run away from home. There was a matchmaker who tried to make them not be together, but they wanted to be together. So they've run away to this island on a potluck attempt of just... this was highly unlikely for it to even work in general. And now they've been separated from their ship due to a random earthquake, and they're discovering the thing that they flew here from, which was just like this giant galactic flow thread between our planets. There's also these flow threads, flow bridges between various like bits of rock on this island, since this is one huge planet that's been separated and like blown up basically, and all these parts are connected with this flow substance. We're also about to see some. So this is a flow in like the gas, liquid form. Over there, yeah, that's solid flow. It's gone all rusty, as they call it. Luckily, when we like flow over it with our movement abilities, we're able to clear it. There are larger deposits of rust. You'll see I picked up some crude rust, fine rust. These are sort of materials that I can use to build some items later. There is some routing with rust to making sure I get a certain amount of it before certain points. Like in this first outing, I'll need 7. The next outing, I'll need at least 10. And then afterwards, I'll need quite a bunch more to make the items which will make our combat go a lot quicker. Because yes, there is combat in this game. We won't see it for another few minutes, but you shall certainly see a few fights during this game. It's all dialogued. Of course, with your choice of female, there is a completely different voice actors for the character because of that. It's very lovely that they decided to do this. Yeah, cool. Um, every time I go out out of an animation or a transition, I have to pre-buffer directional input
We found the nest.
to make sure I don't lose any time, and making sure I'm able to completely know where I am at every point split. Uh, really helps. Yeah, so it can be hard to completely memorize exactly what point and what part of the position you're in at all points. Going through some nightmares because, so talking about the characters, talking about the personalities, white-haired girl called Yu. She very much cares about the ship. She's a mechanic. Dark-haired lady named Kay. She is the botanist and who makes food and all that sort of thing. So it's very lovely. Okay, I'm animation here. Then a thing I have to. Nope, this isn't this.
I think we've
Then we
got
go over
everything we
here,
need to roll
press
the joint
A.
for the
This is
clock
what we
together,
needed for
so-
exactly 7. Then just a cutscene I actually had to skip rather than fast forward
Before we
through.
start fixing anything,
Then
I
heading
need
up
to find the
here.
replacement parts.
Great. That was a little bit slow because I accidentally re-entered the menu, but that's completely fine. Completely fine. Ooh-wee. Yeah, so there'll be a lot of traveling, a lot of exploring this world. Well, less so much exploring because we know exactly where we need to go speedrun-wise, but
This way is
more
also
of
full of rust.
exactly going to the right locations. I'll be able to show off the map a little bit when we get the radar, so you can actually see it when I press the Y button on my controller, but
always be useful.
the top button, essentially, on the controller. Here's the first combat. So,
I did.
well, we have to... there's also a rush mode mechanic with this. Luckily, when in rush mode, for some reason we deal double damage, so I'm trying to abuse rush mode as quickly as possible. Often I will do my inputs to decide what will happen, activate rush mode, so they do what I wish for in a quicker fashion. Okay, I got 1 crude rust and 1 fine rust. That can be random. I could get 2 of either in that situation. That's a perfectly good outcome. It's a little bit random what you get from fights. I just have to route it in, and there's emergencies if we get too little of the rust. So this is an aerial flow thread. We do not have the ability to use aerial flow threads right now, so we fall down. But we'll be able to unlock that ability very, very soon, because that's basically where we need to go next. Very nice. But yeah, speaking of rush mode, we will be abusing that as much as possible. Just picking up this extra deposit for safety. I do appreciate safety in a marathon setting. So there are many cutscenes, loading animations throughout. They're all very pretty. There are some slightly saucier ones, so I suppose enjoy that in your morning wake-up call later on. So here's like the first like mini boss, I suppose you could call it, where this explains to you how combo attacks work. So initially we can't do a combo attack, so now I have to input doing a combo attack, stop it, because combo attacks require the correct timing. So I've got to turn on and off rush mode at all times. There we go. Now pacify the creature. So in this game, it's the case where you have to put the creature down to 0 health and then pacify it. So watching very much how much rust I'm going to get from this. We want as much crude rust as possible, if possible. Okay, not as much, so I'll just pick up these 2 backup sources here before moving on, since we need at least 10. And that should bring me to 11 or 12, just to make sure I have enough. So just to break down what happened in that fight a little bit more, we have directional fighting. Oh, okay, that's weird. That's fine, that's fine. Yeah, here's the map. So doing left, right, and doing the same input of left and right will be different on What? Oh, just one moment while I do that. Getting mixed up and all that. Just making sure we're okay here. Cool. Great. Yeah, so there's like if I do both my joysticks to the middle, I'll be doing a punch attack, and then both to the side, we'll be doing a blast attack, or the other way around, one of the two. And essentially, if we both do the same with both characters, we'll be able to do a combo attack. Once both attacks are fully charged, we then go onto a spinning wheel where we have to get the right timing. That does not work in rush mode, so I have to turn on rush mode or activate my ability, turn on rush mode, turn off rush mode before it's fully charged, and then get the right timing and activate rush mode once again.
What does she want from us?
Okay. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine.
Whew, we lost
Yes.
him.
Awesome. Okay. Those are some of the optional enemies that we could be fighting throughout this whole thing. We'll be avoiding those primarily. There should be no optional fights throughout this. If I do get into a fight, I will just have to quit out and restart the area from the very beginning again. All right. At one point I got distracted since I noticed I was player 3 on my controller, which might have been why we were having controller issues earlier for oddness. But yeah, now we have the anti-grav abilities, so we can now go and finish this flow thread to its correct detonation.
There we are.
Destination? Whoa, explosions! All right.
I hope we'll find what we
So
need in this area.
right now, we thought this was a deserted island or deserted planet. We thought there were no signs of life here, but this is where we're starting to see there are buildings here. There should not be buildings here. There's signs of previous life here, structures, technology, which is all big and mysterious. And it actually gives us a little bit of hope as well as dread, since during that crash and fall and earthquake that happened, our ship was broken. We broke parts of our ship, so we're hoping to find various parts of the ship throughout this. Go this way, hit the checkpoint, then keep going around to the other checkpoint. So just picking up that there so I can use it later on. Various different routing towards those ship parts that I just mentioned, because we do need to pick up all ship parts as well as progress through the story in order to get to the end here. There is a part at the end of the game where we do need all ship parts, so that will be required. Yeah, let's take this flow thread. It's a good one to get every now and again if you're feeling like getting it. So here's the first accident. There was this big machine that we decided to randomly play with. Being amazed, we pressed a button and it accidentally sent a beacon signal to our home planet, and that's bad because now they know we're actually here, and we'll have Hornet drones coming in attacking us later, and those are a pain to defeat. And there's this big worry of, what if they come and find us? What will we do? So, the next thing I'm going off and doing is, in this zone, we meet the creature that allows us to fast travel. We will not be fast traveling much through this game, because it requires very specific conditions as well as food. Okay, I want the down input here. Perfect. And then I'll be doing this combat. It's faster to actually not do combo attacks for this. So I just... And another, and then pacify all. Beautiful. When fights are done well, it happens really smoothly, and I really appreciate it. Okay? They're very nice. But yeah, going back to the fast travel, it requires very specific conditions, and since we don't have many sources of food, and we're basically not eating throughout this whole thing, we can only use it a very limited amount of times. But it's certainly in the route to take... There are a few animations that we have to go through in order to actually unlock it. but it is worth it. I have routed all of this out. Okay, okay, nope, nope, nope. Let's not get caught by terrain and animation. Thank you very much, game. Very much appreciated. So we're about to go through another combat boss fight. Usually, this is where they explain to you one person defends while they do the big attack, and then the other person is able to do the attack when they're stunned. Okay, so now I have to stop, charge up my attack. So when they do their attack, because of my there we go, I'm able to attack through it and deal double damage because hey, rush mode actually also does double damage, and usually you wouldn't be able to do a combo attack in rush mode, so we're able to one-shot that boss, which is awesome. Cool. There we go. There we go. We've now unlocked the flow burst ability, where we're able to send like basically a minor shockwave all around us, which lets you enter houses and pick up little relics. We do not do any of that during this run, apart from right now, right here. The item we just picked up allows us to make items, combat items, which will allow us to do combats basically very quickly from now on. I'll also be using the flow burst ability to pick up sources of rust throughout the run, since it extends our range. Since usually we'd have to run through it, now I can do an extended burst to pick up all the ones around me.
Oh, cool. I don't have this one yet.
Okay, okay. There are also little critters that are on some flow bridges, the connections between two places. And we can now use this flow burst ability to knock them off. There was previously one on this segment that we're about to go to, which is why we couldn't go here before, but now we can. I've got to pre-charge up one, since as soon as I see it in the distance, there we go. This is the animation where it's trying to say, hey, how do we get these off? But luckily there's enough distance with the fully charged flow burst to unlock it early. Bless you. Okay, so now I'm doing a U-turn and jumping off this cliff. Ooh, that was very perfect. Landing right on the ship part. So this is the first ship part that we pick up. I'm now going up the mountain. I'm now going up the mountain. This is left. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Cool. So a lot of these ship parts can be done in any order. There are some routing changes that I've done throughout time to do these in certain better orders. Right now we're about to pick up the engine hood, I believe. Yes, we just picked up the cylinder, now the engine hood. Going straight again here. This is one part that we could have picked up earlier. We skipped past it. Cool.
Hit him with a flow burst.
So one other thing flow bursts allow you to do is temporarily stun optional enemies. So this is another reason why we should not hit any optional enemies throughout this game. Lovely. So even without mentioning it, there has been some unoptimal movement, and that is really where the time saves come into this game, where just being able to do every single piece of movement as quickly as possible. For example, there is something in the middle of this island, which is a camp. If we go close enough to the camp, we'd hit an animation sequence, and we do not want that. And have to camp for the whole night and probably eat something. Ew. Imagine staying healthy and eating things. I say as I have eaten breakfast beforehand and went to sleep at 10 p.m. To make sure I was up and ready for this run. Okay, here's another engine part. This is like the first one you're meant to find throughout this. Okay, now that I've picked up this, I will be going into the haven again, the little home.
Let me know if I can help.
That we're going, the nest. And doing several animations, doing some menuing to pick up some items. So if I could give it away to my host just to talk for a little bit while I do this menuing.
Sure thing, sure thing. If you missed any of the previous runs, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Get subscribed because we have some cool, unique content coming to youtube.com/BSG Marathon. And if you've ever wanted to run a marathon yourself, but you want some help getting started, and if you want to, use a channel with some actual marathon a marathon viewing audience, you can do contact us because BSG does support some small community events as well. Most recently, we had the Colin McRae-a-thon happening live on our own Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BSG_marathon.
What are you doing?
Just it paused out as soon as you were saying, "What are you doing?" No, yeah. Thank you very much, my friend. I finished doing those menuing there. It went all smoothly, and I very much appreciated it. It's our surprise anniversary where the main common food in this place is called apple dew. So what do you do with apples? You brew them into a beverage of some kind. And they're just chilling. This is essentially the leveling up system throughout the game. We will not be doing much of this leveling. Okay, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Cool. However, we do need to then sleep again now. This is good. Great. There's usually many animations that happen while sleeping. We try to avoid them at all times. Yeah, the items I just picked up. Yep, this is fine. Okay, yeah. That's the saucy cutscene. Ooh, okay. Anyway, unfortunately, now this is like the first time we've slept since like the beginning of the game forces us to. So we unfortunately have to go through, oh, this is how we glide without finishing going through the flow threads. This is just how much time getting those item upgrades saves, because yeah, even if I have to go through all these animations, all these cutscenes, all this tutorial, it basically lets us one-shot several fights in a minute, so it's very, very much worth it. Okay, we're going up there, and that way. This is the map, yeah. So we unlocked the radar, and these are all the different nodes of islands that we go through. There are many more connections throughout this little section, many of which we haven't seen and unlocked yet, many of which we have to, like, open from the other side. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, there is like a leveling system. Whenever you do a thing together, cook a certain food together for the first time, eat a meal together, visit a house, complete a fight together, you do get an amount of experience, of which they unlock various different abilities. And the very first ability they unlock is being able to do backflips, which is basically purely visual. But it's nice to see every now and again. The very last upgrade is a speed boost, but unfortunately we do not have time to sit through and also just make them well enough acquainted, shall I say, and go through all those animations to get that speed boost. Not worth it, not worth it. So now, oh, yep, okay, there's a case of doing one of those tricks, jumping off a high surface. Yeah, okay. I'm not used to seeing as many as I am, since often I do not get the upgrade there, but I did just in case. Great. Flowing off this here and going on here. Beautiful. So the next thing that's going to happen is the Hornet fight. These are the droids that the home nation are coming or sending to basically disable us, pick us up. We will actually get a true game over screen if we fail to defeat them. That shouldn't happen. We're able to manipulate the items that we just picked up to do an omni impact and an omni burst attack in that reverse order,
Did you feel
to knock them all out at once. Trying to abuse rush mode as much as possible, but unfortunately it won't quite happen. So just while I make sure I do not screw up this fight, there is some bad RNG. They can do an attack pattern which makes us lose some time here.
I think so.
Because if they knock us out of using one of these items, we just lose the item. We do not get it back. Okay, so here is the Hornet fight happening now after this cutscene. Okay. Let's see if we get good luck Cool. Charging. Okay. Um, they did. They did do the unfortunate
Much
attack,
better.
but
No kidding.
luckily we're able to
Had enough yet? Want some
then
more of this?
overload, charge, all. Cool. So the bad animation happens, lost time because of it, but I was playing it slowly to play it safe to make sure we didn't actually have to reset the fight by menuing out. Cool. So they had a weird thing in their databases. They had a location. Something is at that location, so it's on our map now, and we're potentially just heading to it. Cool. So that's our next portion of our journey, where we basically head down through the bottom half of the map and have a little bit of a fight. Oh, there is another good old turnip that we have to defeat in a minute, but we'll come to him in a minute. He's the other potential RNG fight where he could knock us out of one of our attack animations, but we'll get to that when we get to that. It'll happen in a little bit, but cool, cool. I'm occasionally looking down because I've got my splits out in front of me. It just helps me keep on track of where I feel I am and make sure I don't do any of the ship parts out of order. So at the very top, you see there's like a blinking light in the distance on the top of this hill here. That's where the turnip resides. He comes and helps us unlock some buried flow bridges later on, but the only buried flow bridge that matters for main any percent run is this one here. Cool. So let's just hope this fight goes pleasantly well. Unfortunately, this is the point where it decides to tell us how capsules work, since this is basically where they expect you to have made them. So we're charging up, then doing one of the attacks. Unfortunately, yeah, okay.
Okay, I get it. Joke time is over.
Okay, let us do the thing. And I should be able to pacify all. Lovely. Okay, that was a nice and smooth fight. I played it slowly, not using some of the rush mode mechanics, but no bad luck with any fight animations, fight sequences there either, so that's good. Lovely. Great. I feel those are the major two RNG parts of the run. Glad they're over with. Next is just purely routing and make sure I don't mess up with any parts here. So yet again, we're going down here briefly to pick up a another shortcut for later, and then proceeding with our regular programming. So in terms of story, one of our characters just saw a Heliga. This is equivalent to a unicorn, I suppose, or a Pegasus, is slightly more accurate in our real world. Yeah, and Kay does not believe them. Yikes. And that is like a mini boss you can fight later in the game, because yes, Heligas do exist. Oh. Nice, nice, nice. So one of the next segments is the longest dialogue segments in the game. So it's just essentially a lot of mashing. The quicker I do mash, the better it does work alongside the rush mode. I do have to pick up an amount of rust, since basically I do need to fix every single ship part at the end of the game, so that does require an amount of rust. I should be able to retrieve plenty throughout everywhere in the game, but okay. There are some pre-buffers that I'm trying to get here. It's not exactly too hard to get. Unfortunately, I missed that one, and now I have to not buffer for that one. Now I'm leaving, and we're deciding we want to go home. We just talked to the white-haired girl, Yu's mother, trying to see if she can help us. Unfortunately, she's basically done the opposite. We're having a little bit of an argument right now, as sometimes couples do. We wake up in the morning, and Yu, the white-haired girl is now gone from the bed, and we cannot find where she is. And we tried to look under the table, as all people hide under the table, under the floating table. That is really hard to not see. Okay. So right now, it doesn't actually matter what direction I head, as long as I transition between
Okay, you.
two different zones. So I usually just pick whichever zone cools to me first. Since we have to basically get to the center of the zone anyway and have an animation play, then go to the next one. So it doesn't hugely matter which one we go to. I have picked this one today, so I can do this. Hopefully I should see, there we go. There's the animation, and then we're just heading towards that light over there. Just talking about the game casually, there's a billion different parts of food sources, like, well, there's basically 6 different foods we can find throughout the game. Each of them you can combine together to make a unique concoction, shall I say. Just going over here to pick up a little bit of extra spare rust, because I have extra time, just to make sure we do safety. This is where we've realized, oh, this is actually the location we're meant to go. So it automatically teleports us here. I could not make it here without. Unfortunately, in the 2 transitions, I cannot make it here. But we find her. There's been an earthquake. She's trapped on the other side of this ravine. We now have to find our way back together because we sort of just made up a little bit. We haven't fully made up properly yet, but that will happen once we actually make our way home. It's telling us to look in our inventory right now so we can activate a balm, one of the healing items in the game, but we do not need to heal. No healing required for this part. Unfortunately, it does force us to make our balm in the game, just to have like this backup health safety thing. Because otherwise, the only way to actually heal in this game is to go to a campsite or go all the way back home and eat a meal or use like a med kit at one of these campsites. So it is actually fairly difficult to recover health. And just a little bit of a distraction. There was a small, tiny fly on the light shining in my face. It is gone now, though. I notice everything. So I'm just going through these different areas. I hit a certain flow thread, a certain pile of rust to unlock one of these flow threads that actually let us up here. There are sometimes only one specific flow thread that allows us to get up to certain location. So we've actually got a small cutscene skip coming up very, very soon. That's a door skip. It's a very short animation where she says, "That's a door." And it takes like half a second, but I can skip it, so it's a skip. Let's see if we get it here. It'll be minorly exciting if I do. Ooh. Hey! we don't have her say it's a door. We will find that door later. Trust me. But for some reason, they do not play the animation. If we do it like this, I'll take the minor like half a second time save where I can. So we had a fight. In the meantime, we're doing that, then that. Cool. We're then doing this. Yep. So after we finish, they're just round that corner, round that bend. We will make friends again, and then pick up a quick ship part, which will teleport us home. And how do you... Yes, anyway. We will then go through a series where we pick up a bunch of these parts in a row. Yeah, doing that one, then that one, then that one. Okay, yep, I'm happy with this. Just making sure I definitely am following what I'm doing. Because, you know, in a marathon setting, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of talking going on, there's a lot of things I have to keep track of. So sometimes, you know, it helps to have something that keeps you on track. Look at this cute chibi animation. So I should immediately be heading towards this over here. Cool, and then heading down that way. Yep, all cool. Ay, ay, ay. So there are multiple biomes in this game. There's this standard one that we've been going through for the majority of the game. There is a like wheat fields biome. There is a swamp biome. Um, there's also this lava rocky biome.
It's a double because there's two of us.
Oh, cute.
Oh, okay.
Um, the dialogues are actually slightly different if you depending on which couple gender you play. So that was kind of the oh crap. Okay, so there is a hornet there in the middle. It is a very hard fight, and I just have to fully take a wide rim around that. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. In recent playthroughs, he hasn't been, but he is for this game. Sure, whatever. I just have to make sure I take a wide brim around him, since he runs real quickly. Usually, you move quicker than most other enemies. Not in this case. He is like the postman in Zelda. He will catch up to you wherever you go. Awesome. So after we pick up a variety of different parts here, we'll be basically very close to finishing the game, really. Okay, but there are quite a lot of parts we do have to pick up. Here is this biome. I am having to head... So there is a part over to our right here. I'm heading over in this direction to unlock... There we go. This area, which should be a blank area, I could then completely take a U-turn and go back and pick up the normal part. Yep, cool. So another like gimmick about the fast traveling in this game, which we still haven't done, we're about to do in a bit, is the fact that one, we need to talk to one of those guys, the thing we just passed on the right. We need to be able to feed them, and also we need to be able to only go to an area that's completely clear of rust. So since we're not going through and cleaning all the rust out of every single zone, our fast travel locations are limited. Okay, I am now going to... Yeah, okay, I'll go right again and pick up that ship part first.
Okay, let's get to
Cool.
work.
Do that one, and then we'll do the fast traveling, 2 fast travels together in a minute. Yep, cool. Nice. So what is the next ship part, you say? Well, you'll find out in just a minute. It begins with a W. Unfortunately, it's not an actual word, I don't think, so good luck guessing that. So we actually passed this ship part a little bit ago in our last little journey. We unfortunately cannot pick up a ship part and keep going. If we could actually do that, that would have been amazing. Unfortunately, every time we actually pick up a ship part, we do have to go back to the nest and go home. Which is annoying for routing. There are more cases where we are sent back to the nest than we would have liked to. Usually in games where like there's a central hub location, usually it's great to be able to teleport back there and then go to the use it as a midpoint center. Not in this case. There are definitely benefits of it. So we're gonna just jump off this cliff here, and here it is. It's a lot of times where we're just jumping off the cliff. Now we're going to do the fast travel segments where we're going to the bottom right one. Okay. I've got to be careful not to immediately mash too quickly, or else I'll fast travel to an incorrect location. Cool. Going here, the animation, just playing it very safely. Press OK to go past that, and then go to that. Cool. Just making sure we go very safe, do not accidentally go to the wrong area, and not pass go. Okay. I know, but I've got to say something about a board game, right? Hello, I'm Tricrow. I play a lot of board games. Later on in the marathon, I'll be playing a game called Root, which is a board game, but the digital version. And not just one game, 3 of them. Whoa. As you can imagine, a game of Root takes like 2-3 hours. I'll be playing that in 7. Welcome to Speedruns. A 7-hour game. That's good. Okay, so just making sure I knock that one out so I don't encounter it. And here is this one here. Okay. So, do you remember when we found a door? No, because we didn't get the "that's a door" animation. Exactly. But guess what? There is actually a door that exists somewhere. We're about to go find it. So, usually we would have to give food to the... What, is that a heliga in the distance? Yeah, randomly it appears every now and again. And it's just like, whoa, it's over there in the distance. Eventually you will find the place where it nests and enjoy that in your casual playthrough. Cool. So there are some different routing choices that we could make here. Usually there is a shortcut we could unlock, so we wouldn't have to go from one area to the other. I don't want you to attack me here. Cool. That was slightly worrying. Cool. So there's the door. It's now open. Cool. So inside here we have the form of hyper rust. This is essentially a chaos crystal. We need 2 of these to finish the run. Make sure we actually pick up it, because we need to do some research on it. Cool. There are 4 different hyper rusts in the game that we could select. The first one is just the one that introduces hyper rust, which is very easy. It's just there. There are the option of 3 different choices. So 1 is to do the hardest mini fight in the game. Yep, let's not do that. 2 is to do a series of cutscenes where we talk to our pet. Those are random. He might or may not generate and spawn every single time. Let's not do that. The final way to do it is to just go through the longest flow thread in the game. But yeah, let's do that. Ooh, I wondered if we were going to clip out the world there. I always wonder. Luckily, we were fine. Cool. So this is basically the longest progression of story that we'll have to go through for a while. We'll have to do our last fight in this screen here. Cool. This is the last fight that we'll be doing in the game. We are currently starving. We have not eaten this entire game, and so all of our charge attacks take like double the amount of time to actually activate. Luckily, we have the special charge abilities, which we can basically just one-shot all these enemies. Cool. Pacify all. There we go. Or else they would have been an absolute pain if we did not have an Omni attack to go solve that. Lovely. And that was the last fight in the game. Woo! Cool. Whoa, thank you! Oh man, I wasn't able to show off that. That's fine. Okay, we're not doing the animation. Where's the cutscene? Okay, cool. So we've currently skipped a cutscene. No, there it is. Okay. Usually you can't skip that. And I was like, wait, maybe, which would have been hype since this is a very long cutscene. It's almost over. Yeah, it's over now. Great. Okay, so just because we were like out of position there, I got discombobulated and went the wrong direction for a second there, but it's fine. That was weird. I was hoping that I was going to fully skip that, but alas, 10 seconds not skipped. Just reproportioned. That's fine. So here is where we do the longest flow thread in the game. Luckily, we are playing on the easy difficulty, and therefore we have quite a lot of stickiness to the flow thread. It's very hard to actually fall off of it, but it's very well possible, so let's not do that. It's over there in the distance there. I'm enjoying this here. Okay. Ooh, luckily this game has a very lovely soundtrack that we've been listening to throughout the whole of this. It's by the same people as Fury, so if you enjoy Fury, yeah, there's a good reason why this music is cool. Right now we're in sort of like, oh no, the white-haired girl's ex-boyfriend that she was in an arranged marriage with is gonna come and get her because he's a very powerful being. So that's scary. Okay, cool. We actually picked up the Hyper Rust. There we go.
This is a pretty one.
It's a pretty one. It is. So I've got to be really careful I don't... Cool. There's a random mob that spawns every now and again. he could just spawn right below where I plan to land. If so, we would have to do that whole flow thread again. That's really unpleasant to do. I'm glad that we didn't have it happen. So we're about to go into the lava area in the game. This is where like rust is intense. It's not actually lava, it's just mounds of hot, I suppose it is lava and rust just superheated into almost a plasma-like form. Yeah, it looks spooky, and this is where some of the hardest fights are in the game. Luckily, we're not doing any. I very much appreciate that fact. There's probably definitely a category of this game where you do like all mini-bosses, or yeah, all like named bosses in the game where, yeah, we would have to kill one of these things. And that'd be an interesting thing to route. It'd definitely be harder to route since I'd need more items to like do special attacks and stuff like that. But I'm sure it'd be possible. That'd be fun to do at some point. Although it would be longer, it'd probably be on like the 2 to 3 hour point of that, right? Also, another thing they do in this segment, because everything's very like this color, some of the enemies that are like corrupted are hidden in the rust. So sometimes they can jump out and attack you if you're untoward. There is one final ship part that we're picking up, which is at the end of this area now. After that, we should be fixing all of the ship and going off to the final volcano area, where we have to make our final choice, whether we want the good or the bad ending. I believe by default we have to pick the good ending, since that's the category I picked. Although, happy to pick the bad ending if we need to save more time. It saves like a minute or two, because less animations to go through. But both endings are kind of just a little bit poor in this game. Or less so much poor, just like both are a little bit... One, you're stranded on the planet. 2, you get locked up. So I think stranded on the planet's a bit better, but
Just need to get to work.
it's definitely the best of 2 different options, right? Okay, so now we're fixing all the ship. This does involve a animation every single time. So there's quite an interesting mashing sequence that we're going through here, where I have to double select options, and then to actually skip cutscenes, I'm having to, or animations, I'm having to like do a whole day thing. So it's switching between the like rush mode skips and this sort of skips, back and forth over and over again. And these are all very, very lovely, endearing animations and cutscenes that we're all skipping through, getting to know the characters. I imagine they're all different, like slightly individualized as well, and lovely. Okay, but that's the nest, our home base, fully back to where it should be. There's one final thing we need to craft, and that's the hyper rust upgrades on our thingamajiggies. So let's just hope we have. Yep, cool. We have 8 spare rust. Thank God. I'm really glad. I've never actually messed that up yet, so I didn't want to say that, or else it would have happened during the run. Cool. We're going to the final segment now. Lovely. So, how are we doing for time? Great. I love to hear it. So
we just passed 48 minutes.
Cool, cool. So we're just going through the... Oh, okay, that's what that number is. Ah, okay. I thought it was the time since donation happened. Anyway. Oh, cool. Nice. I'll take it. I was going to have to set up to do a skip there, but our side character just flung off ahead and went ahead of us. We're actually not in... That's not intentional. We're not meant to be able to skip through that section. However, we just did. Very nice. The great time save right there. We can, throughout this game, swap between characters back and forth. Sometimes our companion characters have a funky collision and AI, so we're able to skip through some bits. But usually I would have had to have done like a small setup there to go do that. But we're in the final few minutes of the game here. Unfortunately, you was attacked by lava. I hate when lava attacks.
Then we'll do one thing at a time.
That is actually completely random as well. It could be you or Kay that gets infected by the burns. That's not quite how burns work, but yeah, sure. So now we're going through. We're going to all these different points and cutting off the connections between each one bit by bit, and this should sever our connection between this planet and our home planet. This mighty gesture will mean our planet will be kind of slowly dying, falling off tilter off our axis, but we'll be together. We won't be separated. There won't be any mind wipes, majigs forcing us to forget who we are. We'll be together for the rest of our lives, which is cute. And that is what the final ending is. What's it called? Yeah. We're in pain right now, having to struggle to go through this alone. The music is high, and music is intense. We're clearing all these things, and because it's not entirely understood what the flow threads are. Time is coming up very soon, and I won't do a weird countdown where I'll go from 5, 4, 3, 2, 7, 8, 9. Don't worry, I'll do it. I'll do some normal shenanigans. It's fine. I'm actually playing this very safe because if I do this too quickly, I could head off in a wrong direction and fall all the way down to the bottom. Okay, time is coming up quite soon. I just have to slowly walk because it forces me to walk to this one location, do the final thing, and time. Woo! Thank you very much. I've been tricrow. Feel free to put me forward going along. Nice. Wasn't my estimate 51? So basically exactly on. I love it. So feel free to keep on going. I have nothing left to say. You'll see me later this marathon.
All right, thank you, tricrow. Thank you for showcasing Haven. Certainly looks like a really fun game. Coming up next, we will have Phineas and Ferb right again. Going to be run by Tiltoons. That'll also be it from me for today. I will be back tomorrow really early in the morning for some more hosting. Do enjoy the next few runs, and do keep on donating to Mind.